Hi guys, it's Ben Heath from Lead Guru, and in this video I'm going to talk about Facebook advertising psychology and how you can actually guarantee that you succeed with Facebook ads. And I know that's a very bold claim. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to explain all that in a minute. Before I do, I just want to very quickly ask for you to smash that like button on this video, click that like button, that'd be much appreciated, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. Okay, Facebook advertising psychology, what am I talking about? Now, I'm not talking about the psychology from your prospects, your customers' standpoint. I'm not talking about using any sort of hook in an ad or anything along those lines to try and convince your prospects effectively to buy your products and services. Okay, I've covered that sort of stuff in a lot of videos. In this video, I want to talk about your psychology as a Facebook advertiser and what you need to do, because it's such an important component of Facebook advertising. Yes, you need to know all the technical stuff. You need to know how to create lookalike audiences and how to set up your campaign structure correctly and how to create awesome ad creative and all that stuff that I've got literally hundreds of videos about. But if you have the wrong psychology as a Facebook advertiser, if you approach Facebook advertising with the wrong attitude, the chances of you succeeding are very slim indeed. You're going to have to really get very lucky. And we work with hundreds and hundreds of clients, right? I have thousands of people that have bought my courses. So I have a ton of exposure. I have an enormous amount of first-hand data from people looking to succeed with Facebook advertising. And I can see exactly the patterns emerge. You know, it's easy to recognize the patterns of, okay, who does this really work for and who doesn't this work for and why? So you see in this video, it's all about your psychology. There's no, it's just me on the screen. There's no Facebook ad account. I'm not in Ads Manager teaching how to do the technical things. That's not what I want this video to be about. I want it to be about your psychology of Facebook advertiser. Now, I would really, if I was to make a request, I would say, what's the single most important thing to guarantee success with Facebook advertising? It's for you to start the process, or if you're already somewhat down the line, develop this now of, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep testing things until I find a way to make this work, until I find a way to have success with Facebook ads. That sounds like a small thing, and it absolutely isn't. It's an enormous thing. The vast majority of people will give up as soon as something becomes difficult. And if Facebook advertising was super easy, just anyone could get great results, well, there'd be no point in you watching my videos. There'd be no point in me having a Facebook ads agency. That's not true. If you've had any experience with Facebook advertising, you'll realize that if you just throw up any old ad, target the first people that come to mind, it's probably not going to work. Now, the potential rewards from working out to getting Facebook advertising to work for your business are absolutely enormous, but it's not super straightforward. Oh, I've got any old product, let's just put an ad up for it, generate tons of sales, happy days, drive off into the sunset. It doesn't work like that. It's difficult. There are things that you need to work out. There are tests that need to be made. Perhaps you need to test a number of different sales funnels, work out exactly which one works for your business. It might take you a month to create a new sales funnel. You run a campaign for a week, it doesn't work. You have to go back to the drawing board. These things are hard. The vast majority of people, when they come up against that hurdle, are going to quit. They're going to give up and they're not going to keep pushing. Some will push a little bit further than that. Okay, the first round didn't work. Let's try another round. Let's work with another, batch of ads. Let's see how they perform. And they don't work again. And then a whole load more will quit. Just by deciding, I'm going to still be trying to get this to work, trying to advertise on Facebook and get this process to work for my business specifically in 6 months' time, you're going to elevate yourself above 90+% of the competition. That is such an important attitude to cultivate, to go, no matter what happens, I'm not going to bet the farm. I'm not going to spend more than I can afford. I'm going to keep this affordable until I work this out, but I am going to keep going because I know that the potential rewards of doing so in my Facebook ad, in my business, is absolutely massive. We work with tons of businesses where we've 10x the size of the business or more because of successful Facebook advertising campaigns. The rewards are there. You have to be willing to go through that initial difficulty. So that's the first thing I want to mention, is around your attitude going into it when you get started, or even if you're already along that path, think, right, from now, I'm going to still be here in a year's time. I'm going to still be here in 2 years' time. I'm still going to be trying to get this to work, and I'm not going to give up until I find a way, because it is possible and the rewards are enormous. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to talk about is that you need to approach all your Facebook advertising decisions with a calm mind. There is no room for panic in Facebook advertising whatsoever. No Good decisions come out of panic. That's just simple. Panic is a human emotion designed to get you to run out of a burning building or take action. It's the flight or fight response. And I see so many people, they go into Ads Manager, the results aren't what they want. My whole business is going to fail, this isn't going to work, panic, quick, turn the campaign off, change some ads. You're not assessing things logically. You're reacting, you're being overly emotional, you're reacting to real-time data that may not mean anything, may be inaccurate, may be not statistically significant yet. So what I think is very important to do is approach things over a longer time horizon. I've talked about this quite a lot, right? So don't assess your Facebook ads in real time. That's silly. Assess things. It can depend on your budget. If you're spending more, you can assess things quicker. If you're spending less, perhaps a little bit longer, but roughly a 7-day period is when you want to be assessing things. That means that you're not allowed to go, I put up a new ad 2 hours ago and it's generated 2 conversions and the conversions are too expensive, therefore I should turn it off. No, that ad might be a great ad, but perhaps it's just in the learning phase right now, or perhaps just data. If you've done any sort of statistics course or anything like that, even fairly basic maths, you'll know that if you just generated a couple of conversions and your costs aren't where they were, that data is not statistically significant at all. That could come down big time. You need to give it time. So whenever you're taking it, when you're in Ads Manager, you're going into the ad account and you're assessing, or you're planning on assessing the data and making adjustments accordingly, just pause. Take a look at the data. Let's assume it's not what you want it to be. And your natural reaction is you get that rush of anxiety. You want to panic. You want to change things. Just take a moment. Even, I'm a big fan of meditation. Try meditating. Take a few breaths and go, okay, there's no need to panic. I tested something. It did or it didn't work. Let's assume it didn't work. It didn't work. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I know that's part of the process. I know it's nothing to worry about. Then you go through the decision process. Okay, do I need to turn this off now? Yes, this isn't working. I need to turn this off. That's disappointing, but that's life. That's fine. I can move on. Or have I given this long enough? I don't think I have given this long enough. I think I need to give this a little bit more time. And I've got a video on how long it takes to succeed with Facebook ads, obviously related to this topic. I'll include a link to that in the video description below. Go through that process. Okay, I need to give it more time. Right. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go away and focus on the other part of my business. I'm going to come back to this another time. Or, yes, I do need to make some adjustments, which happens. I'm not saying that you just need to run a campaign and it will come good eventually. That's not true. But go, okay, this hasn't worked. Let's pause it. And then don't just go, that didn't work, throw everything out, try and find something else. Really then think about why it didn't work. Because this is sort of the third point. I've got 3 main points I want to talk about. Talking about an attitude of resilience, right? The fact that you are going to be there doing this in 6 months' time. I've had my business now. The very first business company I started was 9 years ago, and I've had Lead Guru for almost 6 years. So I've had a lot of success, and I'm very grateful for that, but it's taken many, many years of trial and error and things for me to get here. Just being willing to stick at it has such an enormous impact, makes such a huge difference to your ability to succeed going forward. So that's the first thing, cultivate the attitude, right? Second thing is to never panic. I don't want to see any panic I see it in people's comments on my videos. I see it in people's comments and posts in my Facebook ads mastermind group. I see all this like, help, things aren't working. What do I do? And you just know that no good decisions are going to be made from that mental state. So those are the first 2 things. And then the third thing is to really analyze and assess things and break things down to first principles. So don't just go, and I see a lot of people do this, right? They'll watch like a YouTube video, someone like mine or something like that. They'll buy a course and they'll implement a sales funnel that's been recommended. And that sales funnel, that process didn't work. And they just throw the whole thing out, go, that didn't work. And then they try and find another video, another course and implement another sales funnel. But what you always need to do is you always need to run things through your business, your product, your service, your circumstances filter. So let's say you've got a sales funnel, you implemented it how someone recommended it should be implemented, and it didn't quite work, or it didn't work at all. Why didn't it work? Is it because that sales funnel isn't appropriate for your business? There are ways you can find that out. Use the Facebook ad library. Are there other competitors and things like that using a similar sales funnel? If they are, well, that's a good indication that sales funnel will actually work for your business. Or is it a component part? So You could have, let's say you're using a lead magnet strategy, right? Where you're advertising a lead magnet, building an email list, you're retargeting your email subscribers with your product or your service, and you're also using an email autoresponder sequence once they join your email list to get them to buy that product or service. Quite a simple, very well-known, well-used Facebook advertising sales funnel, that. Something that we use quite a bit as well. Don't just throw out that entire sales funnel if it's not working. Break down the various elements. Okay, are we getting email opt-ins? Yes, we are. And actually, we're getting email opt-ins for about $1.50. Very happy with that. That looks like it's working really well. There's clearly interest in the topic and in the lead magnet. Great. Is your retargeting campaign working? Well, yes, the CTR is really good on the retargeting campaign. We're getting lots of people through to the sales page. There's clearly interest in the product or service being offered in the retargeting campaign. We're getting lots of sort of good feedback, comments, etc. So we're getting a lot of traffic to the retargeting landing page, the one that's designed to sell the product or service, but not a lot of people are buying. Okay, why aren't they buying? Is it because our delivery charge is too high? People are not willing to wait that? Is it because people are having to wait 2 or 3 weeks for this product to be sent to them? Is it because there's not enough proof on that landing page? Is there not enough testimonials or case studies or something like that if they're going to work with our service? Is the price too high? There could be various reasons where you have to assess your specific situation, and maybe it's just 1 or 2 elements in that entire sales funnel that are actually the ones that are the problem that need to be changed in order for you to have success with that approach. If you panic and go, this didn't work, throw up your hands, nothing works, throw out the whole sales funnel, you're wasting a ton of work, a ton of what you've learned, and you might be a lot closer to getting this sales funnel to succeed than you want it to. So assess things granularly, really take some time to think about it. That's what I refer to as hard work. Lots of people creating videos online talking about you need to work 14 hours a day. I think that's absolute nonsense. I think that's the fastest way to burn out. I've burnt out myself and gotten very sick from it. That's, in my mind, completely ridiculous. That's tiring work that burns you out. It's not hard work. Hard work is taking some time out and going, right, I'm going to get a notepad and a pen. That's how I do it. I'm going to really go through all the elements here and I'm going to think about this. Right, we've got this stage looks like it's working, this stage looks like it's working, this looks like it's working, this isn't. Why isn't it working? Why could that not be the case? Break down your product or service offering into first principles. Why do people buy your product or service? As a Facebook ads agency owner, I know that our customers buy our Facebook advertising service for mainly 2 reasons. There are other peripheral reasons, but mainly 2 reasons. They think that by hiring us, we're going to help make them successful. Their Facebook ad campaign is just a means to an end. It's a means to have a successful business, to sell their products and services, etc., etc. So they think we're going to help them be successful. They also want to alleviate a lot of their own anxiety. So a lot of the clients that work with us are worried that they're getting it wrong, that they're not making the right decisions, that they're negatively impacting their Facebook advertising and their business. So they want to hire a professional agency who can help come in and be like, don't worry, we got this. We know how to get great results here. We can make all these decisions. So if I break down our service to first principles, it's those 2 things we need to do, and we do those. We deliver a fantastic service. We're able to help our clients succeed. We're able to take it off their hands, alleviate their anxieties, etc. But in order to sell our service, not only do we need to actually do those things, we also need to convince our customers that we're able to do those things. Okay, so how do we convince them that we can make them more successful? Well, we can use things like testimonials and case studies from other clients where we've delivered fantastic results. Okay, it's a great way of doing that. How can we alleviate their anxiety that the right decisions are being made around their Facebook advertising? Well, I can create a lot of content. One of the reasons why I spend tons of time creating content, I can demonstrate my expertise. In our Facebook ad omnipresence content stack, we will have ads running at any one time that demonstrate our expertise, demonstrate the results we've been able to achieve. These are all things designed that we can do in a Facebook ad campaign designed to alleviate anxiety. Is someone buying your product because your product is going to mean they don't have to do something manually that takes ages? It's going to save them time and they can spend a lot more time with their family. Find a way to put that into the ad, into the sales page, the fact that this is going to free up their time. They're going to be able to spend more time with their family. If that's the first principle behind someone buying, let's think of an example, like a tumble dryer, right? Instead of having to put the washing out on the line and then take it back in and all that sort of stuff, perhaps you could buy a tumble dryer, save you time. You can spend more time with your family, spend more time doing the things you love. That's the first principle. You wouldn't necessarily think that how do you sell a tumble dryer? It's so that people can spend more time doing the things they love. But that might be it. It's a time-saving device, right? So break things down into first principles, and I think this is so important. I think a lot of people aren't willing to go through that hard work of really thinking about how their sales funnels work, and they're not resilient. They're not willing to go through the first 2 or 3 attempts, 4 or 5 attempts that didn't work, because at the end of the day, they don't have enough confidence in their own abilities to be able to actually have the success. So this is certainly what I did at the beginning. I jumped from thing to thing to thing, tested this. I sold all sorts of things on Amazon, on eBay. This is before Lead Guru, on Amazon, on eBay. Just trying to quickly make a sale, try and find a piece of advice. Or someone recommends you should have this type of business. Right, let's try that. I try it for a month or 2, wouldn't work. I'd jump over to something else. And it's because I didn't have the confidence in my own abilities to be able to go, no, if I stick at this, it will work. I know what I'm doing here. I know this is going to work. I know I have confidence in my own abilities to work it out. Once I'd had a little bit of success, finally, after years of trying, and started Lead Guru about 6 years ago, I really changed my attitude around it. And it's not easy. I don't want to just make out that it's easy to have the attitude of, right, I'm just going to keep running Facebook ads until it works. I'm just going to keep testing this. I'm going to keep putting in the time until I find a way. Obviously, don't go bankrupt, right? So don't spend a load of money that you don't have. That's not what I'm advocating at all. Only spend what you can afford to spend. I'm more talking about your attitude and the time you put in into keeping going, keeping trying to work things out. I mean, I've told this story before, but the very first year of my business, of Lead Guru, my Facebook ads agency, my business generated, I had a look at the numbers the other day, it generated £40,000 in revenue. I invested £20,000 of that back into ads. And then after other expenses, I made £8,000. £8,000 for a year's work. Now I had a full-time job alongside that because I wouldn't have not have been able to live off £8,000 and need to pay the rent and things like that. But to think that was my year one, that was my year, a whole year of testing things out, trying things. I said I spent half of the money I got in from clients back on Facebook ads themselves to try out different approaches and things like that. Now we make that in, many times that per week, right? Let alone in a whole year. So I had to go through that initial difficulty in order to get to where I am now in business. And the same applies to your Facebook advertising. You might have to be willing to go through 3 months of a non-profitable Facebook ad campaign where you're working things out in order to get to the point where you're generating, a 2x return on investment. So for every dollar you spend on Facebook ads, you're getting $2 in profit, but not just revenue, in profit back. Once you reach that sort of level, you might be able to scale that campaign up to $100,000 a month. You're generating $200,000 a month in profit from that, and the outlook for your business looks absolutely fantastic. You can go beyond that. There are companies spending millions a month on Facebook ads successfully, but perhaps they had to work something out. Perhaps they had to work out that, for their specific industry, everyone's doing things in a certain way. Let's say they're using a lead magnet structure, but you need to slightly modify that. You need to use a lead magnet structure with something slightly different, like you needed to focus on a different hook for your product or service, or you needed to price your product a little bit differently, offer a payment plan, offer a finance option. There could be all sorts of these little things, little levers that can make a huge difference. I know a lot of you that follow me have bought my Facebook Ads Insiders course, and when I originally started selling that, I did so via a lead magnet strategy, right? Where I sold a lead magnet, and then once people opted in for my lead magnet, I then tried to get them to purchase the Facebook Ads Insiders course. And it worked, we generated sales, but I then switched it to a webinar process. So instead of opting in for a lead magnet, people registered for a webinar. The webinar then delivered a lot of free value, and then we sold the Facebook Ads Insiders course off at the end of the webinar and then an email follow-up sequence. And that generated about 4 times as many sales. The same amount of people, same amount of ad spend, 4 times as many sales. That one change. The course didn't change, sales page didn't change, our ads changed on the front end because we were advertising something different, but the structure of the video ads and stuff didn't change, campaign structure didn't change, people we targeted didn't change. It was just we switched out a lead magnet for a webinar and then obviously changed the ad campaign to advertise that accordingly, and boom. Results were 4 times as good. There are these things that you can work out that can make all the difference. You just have to be resilient enough to go through. So no panic, go at a slow, steady pace. There's not this Hail Mary, unlikely to be this Hail Mary that just completely fixes everything in your business and your Facebook ad campaigns. It's going to be methodical, step-by-step, measured approaches, making rational, logical decisions at each step, steadily improving things is what's going to get you there. And that really is how you can guarantee success. I mean, if you were to say to me, if you were to say, right, here's a random business, I want you to guarantee success. I want you to guarantee that this is going to work with Facebook advertising. I can do that provided I've got the time. I can't guarantee success in a month. I can't guarantee success in 6 months. But if I go, right, this is the business, this is the product or service we're looking to sell. Unless, of course, there's just absolutely no demand for that product or service. But let's assume that that's not the case. I mean, you couldn't sell something that no one wants, obviously. But let's assume there is demand for that product or service. You can find a way. You might have to mess around with the price. You might have to mess around with the offering. You might have to mess around with the sales funnel structure, the Facebook ad campaign. You might need to build, you might need to build an audience first. Okay, in order to be able to sell that properly. There are all sorts of things, but you can guarantee success provided you just don't give up and you are willing to change enough stuff to the point where it works. And that might mean that you're offering a product or service that looks kind of different to what you originally started with. That's okay, but that is how you do it. That's how you go about doing it. And when we see we see tons of clients, tons of customers where things work really well for them versus sometimes things don't work so well. It is so often because of their Facebook advertising psychology. We work with tons of clients, and for the vast, vast majority, we deliver fantastic results. We have fantastic relationships with them. But there are those that 2 days into a campaign are sending us messages being like, campaign isn't performing as well as I'd like. Do you think we should turn it off? Do you think we should do this? And we go, look, this is the process. We know what we're doing. Please don't panic. I send emails very often to clients saying, please don't, and it's literally those words, please don't panic. We know what we're doing. This is part of the process. We can get there. So whether you're working with an external company or doing it yourself, really try and make sure you have that attitude of, I'm not going to panic. I'm going to give things time. If things don't work out, that's okay. I'm going to move on to something else. We're going to test something different. And that is the process. And, we're fantastic at what we do. We're the best, one of the best companies in the industry. I'm very confident to say that. We have amazing account managers, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work immediately from day one. We might work with a client and we might try something for a week and go, you know what? This is kind of working. We're generating okay results, but we think we could get better results if we make these couple changes. And we make these couple of changes. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But by going through that process after, let's say, a 3-month time period, it's very, very rare where we aren't generating significantly better results than when we started or before they started working with us, because we've been calm and methodical and gone through these processes and made adjustments and improved the process and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so I know I'm sort of repeating myself here. I'm really ramming this home, but I think this is actually one of the most important videos I've ever created. It really is. I know it probably won't get that many views because people aren't that interested in title Facebook advertising psychology and things, but it is so, so important. So if you've watched this, feel free to watch it again whenever you're starting to feel anxious or panicky about your Facebook advertising. I think it's so, so important. Hopefully that has been useful. Now, before you go, a couple of free things I want to quickly mention. The first is that webinar that I've already talked about. So it's a webinar called 3 Killer Facebook Advertising Strategies to Double or More Your Revenue. I'd strongly recommend you go through it. It's completely free. Link will be in the video description. It's got sales funnels, strategies, things like that. And I also I talk about how to customize them for your own business. Some of the stuff I've been talking about in this video. So strongly recommend you go through that. And yes, there will be a picture at the end of the webinar for my Facebook Ads Insiders course. You can buy it, you can not. Completely up to you. I think it'd be valuable for a vast majority of you, but if not, not a problem at all. And in fact, actually, there's a discounted offer. So if you are interested in buying my course, go through that webinar, go ahead and grab that discounted offer. The second free thing I want to talk about is my Facebook Ads Mastermind group. So we've recently gone past 40,000 members in my Facebook Ads Mastermind group. It's one of the biggest Facebook advertising related Facebook groups in the world. And it's an amazing community, right? So I think it's like 42,000 people in there right now. It's full of people just like you, right? People who want to get better results with Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising. They're asking questions. They're getting questions answered by experts, including myself. A community I'm very, very proud of. I think you're going to get a ton of value from. I do free trainings in there every single week where you can specifically ask me questions, not something that I'm able to spend a lot of time on nowadays. But in those live trainings I am. And go ahead and join. It's completely free to do so. Link will be in the video description. We also moderate the group very closely as well. So don't worry about there being tons of spam or clogging up your feed with a load of nonsense. All posts, we've turned on post approval. So all posts have to be approved by one of our moderators in order for them to actually go live. So it's a safe place where you can help get better results for Facebook ads. Strongly recommend you join. Okay, if that has been useful, please smash a like on this video. That'd be much appreciated. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Comment below to let me know if this has been valuable. Comment below to let me know if you've got any questions about any of this. I'm not actually able to answer every single question nowadays, unfortunately. I was literally spending hours a day answering YouTube comment questions because my channel has grown quite a lot. But I do see them all, and I will answer as many as I possibly can. So if you've got questions, it's a good chance it will be answered below. And yeah, best of luck with your Facebook advertising, guys. Go forth with a calm Facebook advertising attitude. Make sure that that's the approach you're going to take to this. It really will help you out big time over the long run. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.